Welcome to this explainer. Let's just cut right through the noise, okay? Today, I'm stepping in as your mentor to hand you the exact step-by-step strategy pulled directly from fresh 2026 data to take your brand new agency from absolute zero to 10 grand in monthly recurring revenue. If you are totally exhausted by the endless sea of conflicting advice out there, you are exactly where you need to be. We are going to build your actual roadmap to success today.
So, let's start with a brutally honest question. Why is it that some beginners get entirely trapped, just doing exhausting, mind-numbing work for absolute peanuts, while others seem to just effortlessly build these wildly profitable agencies, pulling in massive retainers? Well, here is the secret. It's not about who's grinding harder. It is 100% about the math behind the specific playground you decide to play in.
Here is the blueprint we're going through today. 1. Escaping the agency trap. 2. The 5 rules of profitability. 3. We'll reveal the top 3 niches. 4. Building your defensive moat. And 5. Your 24-month scaling roadmap. Let's get into it.
Starting right off with Section 1, escaping the agency trap and really understanding the brutal math of retainers.
Look at it this way. If you target low-margin businesses like restaurants just because, they're on every single corner, you are going to be grinding constantly. You'll literally be fighting for these tiny $300 retainers that end up churning every 6 months. Or honestly, worse, you end up getting paid in free appetizers. But if you pivot and pick high-ticket niches like home services, now we're talking. You're building lasting wealth with $5,000 to $15,000 monthly relationships that stick around for 2 to 5 years. The math actually compounds in your favor. Skipping that painful trial and error phase is absolutely crucial for scaling. To really put this into perspective, think about this number. Transaction value dictates your absolute potential. If a single HVAC or roofing job brings in $25,000, that business owner can easily afford your high agency retainer, right? The ROI math just makes perfect sense for them. Meanwhile, a $50 restaurant tab simply cannot support your monthly fee, no matter how incredible your marketing skills are. You've got to align yourself with businesses that are actually making high-ticket sales.
Moving on to Section 2, the 5 rules of profitability. This is how we separate the actual winners from the money losers.
You absolutely must weigh these 5 core factors before you ever even think about committing to a niche. First, as we just talked about, is customer transaction value. Second is client recurring revenue. Clients who have subscription models or loyal, repeat customers, they stay with you way longer because the value of your marketing compounds over time. Now, those first 2 factors completely dictate your maximum retainer ceiling. After that, we look at geographic density, regulatory complexity, and whether there's an existing snapshot ecosystem to speed up your onboarding. You need to evaluate every single potential niche against these 5 rules. I want you to make this quote your guiding light. Density without saturation is the goal. What does that mean? Well, targeting a vertical with high geographic density, meaning there are literally tens of thousands of these businesses nationwide, massively accelerates your initial client growth. You want to dive into a huge pool of prospects who aren't currently running modern marketing. That way, you're not in a knife fight with 20 other agencies over a tiny handful of clients.
All right, Section 3, top 3 niches revealed. Let's look at where the real money actually is in 2026.
So, these top 3 niches rank the highest right now precisely because they combine that beautiful high geographic density with incredible client retention rates. Coming in at number 1, home services. Think HVAC, roofing, plumbing. This is the highest ROI starting niche for new agencies because it's incredibly dense and it's easy to prove quick wins. Number 2 is medical aesthetics, like med spas. Here, recurring patient treatments easily justify retainers up to $7,500 a month. And number 3 is real estate teams and brokerages. They have a universal need for lead nurture automation, and the density is sky high, which makes filling your initial roster super fast.
But here's where you really have to weigh your options as an entrepreneur. Do you want the rapid growth, high-density potential of home services to get your agency off the ground quickly, or are you patient enough to court personal injury lawyers? Now, PI law has the absolute highest retainer ceilings. A single converted case can be worth well over $100,000 to the firm, but it requires really long, heavily relationship-driven sales cycles to actually land those massive $15,000 retainers. You need to pick the rhythm that matches your current financial runway. Now, if you do choose a dense vertical like home services, deploying AI receptionist tools is literally the ultimate high-margin value add for 2026. Guys, this is a total game changer. You prove your immediate worth to a business owner by ensuring that absolutely 0 missed calls turn into lost revenue. You're offering 24/7 phone answering that actually books appointments directly on their calendar. It's a crystal clear, highly measurable win, and the margins for your agency are fantastic.
Okay, let's get into Section 4, building your defensive moat. This is all about protecting your income from cheap competitors.
Now, I know the phrase regulatory complexity might sound completely terrifying to a beginner, but trust me, it is actually your absolute best friend. Taking the time to learn the compliance rules for niches like HIPAA for med spas or FINRA for financial advisors creates a massive protective moat around your business. Why? Because most competitors in the agency space are simply too lazy to learn the rules. If you do the heavy lifting to understand them, you become completely irreplaceable to your clients. They won't want to switch to anyone else.
So your technical moat involves this really rigid 3-step checklist. Seriously, do not skip this. First, pick just one single primary niche, no shiny object syndrome. Second, invest the 30 to 60 hours required to build a centralized, tight snapshot. That means your automated workflows, your pipelines, your templates. Third, treat the onboarding of your first 5 clients as the ultimate refinement process. Building this custom snapshot makes your onboarding lightning fast and ensures you deliver repeatable success every single time.
And that brings us to Section 5, the 24-month scaling roadmap. Here is your realistic blueprint to hitting that $10,000 in monthly recurring revenue.
But before you try to scale, I've got to give you some tough mentor love. You absolutely must avoid these fatal first-year mistakes. First off, do not take advice from course-selling YouTube gurus who are just pushing whatever happens to be trending. Do not target broad, local businesses. Guys, that's not a niche. Do not pick restaurants just because you see one on every corner. Don't run away from compliance, and whatever you do, do not switch your niche every single quarter hoping to find a magic silver bullet. You'll build zero authority that way.
All right, here is your direct homework to get started right now. Step 1. Treat your first 10 clients purely as case studies to prove your specialized snapshot actually works and delivers real ROI. Step 2. Document every single win directly inside that refined snapshot. And Step 3. Launch highly targeted outreach to your first 20 specific prospects in your one chosen vertical. Your goal is to become the obvious, undeniable expert for them.
So what does this actually look like over time? Here's the realistic journey you're embarking on. It takes about 6 months of a pretty slow grind to build up your initial authority and gather those first case studies. Don't panic when it feels slow. That's totally normal. By months 7 through 18, you are going to see massive acceleration as your niche referrals really start to compound. And by months 18 to 24, if you stay focused, you can absolutely cross that $20,000 mark in monthly recurring revenue. I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Now that you have the complete 2026 blueprint, the data, and the exact roadmap laid out right in front of you, are you really ready to ignore all the shiny object distractions? Are you ready to commit to just one niche for the next 2 years and do the focus work required to actually win? The opportunity out there is massive, but the discipline, that is entirely up to you. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Go start building that snapshot, and I'll catch you next time.